Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show again. We are starting 2019 out fast, quick. The pace is frenetic. We have the Dark Knight from DC, the Crusher from Carolina, Mr. Big Banks is to my right. I am Stroobs, and thank you again for staying with us. Thank you for being a very important part of this show. Love the subscribers, love the viewership. Stay with us. Thank you all for adding us as friends. Thanks for checking out. Instagram is coming. The Snapchat is coming. Twitter will be soon on the way. So this is still a fledgling kind of endeavor. This is still a new process. We're gonna be there with you, and plenty of new clips, plenty of new material coming soon. Let's get right to it without ado. The big news coming for you today on January 3rd is the new Congress.
The new Congress.
Beautiful, new, shiny Congress with diversity. No diversity of thought on one side of the spectrum. Just diversity of just religion and skin color and sexuality and yada, yada, yada. Not real diversity, just diversity that's just skin deep, right?
Diversity that you can see.
Exactly. Only the visual kind of diversities. That's all they really care about over on the blue side of the spectrum. But nevertheless, we are happy. Are we happy to have Speaker Pelosi back?
I'm not happy, but we have to deal with it. She's our speaker, and I have to respect the position and her title. But she forgot her polydent.
Oh my! What happened?
Her teeth slipped as she was giving her inaugurational speech.
Yikes.
She got voted back in. So that's going to be on our highlight reel for the rest of her life.
I don't know. I can't substantiate that, but I'm going to ask. Big Banks over here has been throwing together the clips, the music, everything else that complements our videos, and this guy's learning as the days go by. Right now we're working on a couple. What are we working on?
I'm still on the Sour Monkey.
Big Banks' favorite Sour Monkey from the Victory Brewing Company. I'm working on a little bit of Woodford Reserve Kentucky bourbon, Kentucky whiskey. I'm not exactly going to say this is top shelf stuff, but it's all right. It's doing me well. So
as long as you get the job done, that's all that matters.
There you go. There you go. So, in terms of Congress, what do we have? We have the Dems probably thought they did a little better than expected or better than anticipated in the House. Initial returns looked like it was not going to be a bloodbath. It looked like it was actually pretty advantageous to the Republicans on the Republican side. As a lot of those hotly contested elections, as the days kind of progressed, it looked pretty, I don't want to say pretty bad for Trump, but it was probably worse than initially anticipated.
As long as we have the Senate, as long as we have the Senate, that's all that really matters.
What do you mean we? We're independents.
Okay.
Out there for you. We're independents. Okay. Nevertheless, look out for Congress 116. Still a government shutdown. We have the furlough issues hotly, very contentious. We're hearing about it all the time, and the mainstream, the legacy media, the CNNs of the world are doing everything in their power to put this shutdown on Trump's shoulders and to make you believe that the wall is a non-starter. Break it down statistically, the wall does not come at a huge cost comparative to the overall national domestic budget on the whole.
I mean, the wall is less than 1% of 1% of the budget. So, I mean, we can't find $5 billion to actually fund the wall.
Pales in comparison to military spending, and you know what?
Pales in comparison
to any kind of spending. That's true. I stand corrected. But you're right. Does national security not start at home? Does it not start at the border?
Exactly.
And as we've said before, it's not all about a wall. A wall is not the cure-all. A wall is not the one measure. Other policy items, other agenda items, other measures of security have to be part and parcel with the wall as an issue. So you're looking at things like, as we've mentioned in past episodes, mandated e-verify, actual sanctions against employers which undercut wages. ending the endless administrative process.
But this is the biggest part. When you have a wall, you have so many savings come on, along with that. A lot of people won't be filing for welfare, food stamps, Section 8, all these things that's taking up our fundings, Social Security benefits, all these things that actually should put savings back in the pockets of American people. Also, can help fund the wall too as well. So,
states like if California keeps wanting to go that direction and tie unlawful immigrants into their social safety net and their state benefits programs, then you know what, they're gonna feel the pinch sooner rather than later. But
and you being from California, what is the going tax rate right now in California for a state resident?
I have not lived there in 3-ish, 4-ish years. So thankfully haven't done California taxes since 2014.
Well, I know when I lived there, it was going at 10-15%. So I mean, it was kind of high depending on where you were in your income.
I am not the savvy financial individual that big banks. There you go. Okay, so new Congress, new session. Look out. Still no resolution to the shutdown. Go ahead and read, though, the Twitter feeds, and go ahead and read the social media pages for your folks like your Pelosi's, for folks like your Kamala Harris's. They're very, very concerned about the plight of immigrants, very concerned about the plight of the middle America kind of federal employee. But a lot of concern there, but no mention of Officer Ronil Singh, who was shot and taken away from his family. Absolutely. There you go. Very true. Next in the news, the other kind of hot story of the day is good old Mitt, 2012 presidential Republican candidate, major loser. It got a little fire under him. Must have woken up on the wrong side of the bed. The New Year's baby must have bit him somewhere where the sun didn't shine over the change of the calendar. So
who let the dogs out? Who?
So he's taken on President Trump in a kind of seems to be a ruthless manner. I don't know where this all stems from. They were not truly adversaries. I think I remember them dining together right before Trump was about to take office.
I think Mitt is still upset because he didn't get the this Secretary of State situation.
Could be hurt feelings.
Hurt feelings,
Mitt. So
can I say butt hurt?
But I think so. You might be Facebook jail. Facebook, please do not boot us out. We're trying to keep it polite. We're trying to keep it nice and fair. So nonetheless, I was about to call him Senator-elect Romney. He is officially, today I guess, he is Senator Romney from Utah. Didn't really have that kind of fire in him during the 2012 election. Was very milquetoast and was very just kind of.
But did you get a chance to read the op-ed that he put in the Wall Street Journal?
I did. I read bits and pieces. What's your take on it?
My take is that he alluded that he agrees with Trump when he can't agree with him. When it comes to the tax cut and defending the border. But he said when he's going to disagree with him, he's going to disagree with him. And he talks about his character was not being fit for office, and I think it's just a slap in the face. I mean, how can you on one hand agree with somebody saying he's doing a great job and saying on the other hand say he's not fit to lead the country? I just think it's just crazy.
Mr. Mitt trying to raise his profile, maybe possibly even making a run on the Republican side. It's not a slam dunk that Trump is entitled to or warrants, or things could go wrong for Trump if it starts to get kind of dicey on the legal front. Then you could be looking at Romney as a 2020 candidate.
I don't think Mitt will have a chance in hell if he tried to run against Trump. Me personally, I don't think so.
New York Times, what a way to start the year. January 1st, Mitt Romney says Trump has not risen to the mantle of the office. Well, yeah, sure, there are a lot of other examples of past presidents who have not really risen to the mantle.
We go with JFK.
Issues. I'm looking Carter's way. I'm looking at some other.
Clinton.
I'm looking at Nixon's way. I'm looking at some others. Clinton doing some pretty scandalous stuff, especially in the era of pre-Me Too era, but in retrospect, pretty nasty.
But if you want to go with Obama, you got Fast and Furious. You got he was called a deporter in chief. So every president has a stain when it comes out the White House. They're not squeaky clean when it comes
No
to the
one
White House.
is squeaky clean. Absolutely not. A lot of nastiness. You know what? That's part and parcel to the position of president, right? And we elected someone in 2016 who was a straightforward kind of hold nothing back, no holds barred type of thinker, type of speaker. Sometimes doesn't, of course, he doesn't possess the eloquence or the
Not at all.
sort of.
Do we have any quitters here? Eddie, raise your hand, please. All right, because I was going to say, get the hell out of here.
You love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of off the field right now, out, he's fired.
I love the old days. You know what they used to do to guys like that when they were in a place like this? They'd be carried out on a stretcher, folks.
He's media savvy though, you know. He's put mainstream media in its place, and he's really politics as a profession, politics as a vocation has always been a rough and tumble type of thing. This is what people always. This is what people fail to often take into consideration, that it is rough and tumble and it is kind of ugly. The 17 and 1800s were no exception.
We didn't elect him to be, you know, like a prince or a king. We elected him to do a damn job, cut our taxes, fix the border situation, you know, reduce spending, and bring jobs back into the United States. So all this, you know,
and putting America first. Exactly. Popularity in Europe. Why the hell does that matter? Why does that count for anything?
Don't give a shit.
I don't do. Should the average American care that Germans have only a 26% approval rate of Trump? No, that shouldn't enter into the equation in any way, shape, or form. Glad a president is finally saying it, and wish the former presidents were not so willing to acquiesce and to kind of fit the projected image that other nations wanted to have of.
So Trump, if you're looking, hold firm, and just keep on pushing on. I mean, I don't mind the shutdown. Do you mind the shutdown?
I don't mind it. You know what? It's gonna these federal employees are gonna get their back pay sooner rather than later. Right now they're lounging around. They might miss a paycheck or two, but they're gonna eventually get their back pay. So it's hard to put their feelings and their emotions ahead of a farmer in Nebraska or a rancher in Texas. Everyone goes through their own battles, and this is just, you know, everyone's got to face hard times. Government work is pretty cushy. Federal work is pretty cushy, all else considered. So,
exactly.
Nevertheless, next we have Mr. MAGA himself, Kanye. Yay, he is here. He's there. He's here. He's there. Well, there's no church in the wild for him.
He stays right here, or he stays over there.
What is your take? Do we give too much credence, and do we give too much sort of? Do we pay attention to the whimsical thoughts of someone like Kanye West? Should we?
You take everybody serious, regardless if you believe them or not. If they have a mental health issue or not, he has an opinion. He has the right to speak his opinion. He has the right to play both sides of the fence if he chooses to. But the thing about it is that, you know, I guess it's frustrating to the most people because one minute he's here, next minute he's over here. So I can only say with Kanye. My heart goes out to you. Do what you think is right, but it's fair for you and your family and what you believe in.
There you go. So I believe he said in 2018 he'd be performing in MAGA hats. Imagine that. Red-capped Kanye performing. So there you go. Another New Year's Eve story. It seems like every day we're talking about another comedian. Yesterday we were talking about Louis C.K. Today we're talking about Tiffany Haddish. She had a she's got a pretty good repertoire, pretty good run, but on New Year's Eve it was not so. She failed miserably.
She bombed.
She bombed.
Yeah.
Struggled.
Fuck you. This is weird for me. Now this is gonna be on TMZ or whatever. They're gonna be like, Tiffany Haddish ain't a bag of dicks on New Year's Eve. She was sure. I don't give a fuck. Why don't y'all just move on, get closer? You know? This is crazy.
Her and her Ciroc.
And then ended up kind of inviting fans on the stage to drink with them. What is your take on the professional stand-up comedy, or do you think that the media is being a little too sympathetic and kind of showing they're trying to save someone who would otherwise not be as prominent?
I mean, Tiffany Haddish is a great actor. I've seen her in all kind of movies. But, you know, I think she has to let go of the stand-up side of her career, and she needs to just focus more so on just her movie career. Not saying that she shouldn't, but, you know, I think she just focus on. But when it comes to the media, you know, she's the darling of the media right now when it comes to social issues. I mean, right now she's boycotting by wearing.
Speaking of social issues, you want to take that one?
Yeah, she's boycotting by wearing furs until police stop killing blacks. So I'm gonna say she's going to be quite hot all year round. It's just not going to stop happening.
She from New York? Yeah, imagine that. July in New York
with a fur,
with a heavy fur coat.
Just don't get too close to it right now.
And I don't really understand the logic there. What's the point of I don't know how you're going to gain any sympathetic voices taking that kind of angle.
Peter's having a problem with it.
There you go. Absolutely, absolutely. So stay tuned for that. We're sure there's more to come.
Yeah.
Finally, on our agenda today, we are losing the space race fast. Apparently, China of all nations.
China. You take China.
China. I love them. China. I have to have my China. China, because China.
Of all countries, China has now landed a spacecraft on the far side. You can't say dark side of the moon because there really is no dark side, but the far side of the moon has never been explored before. What's your take on that?
Well, look, we're hurting right now when it comes to certain things like that. So when it comes to, the moon, we was there first in 1969. So, I mean, we've been there, we've done that.
Why is it taking 50 years, though? What's your take on that?
Well, nobody wants to put money into NASA no more. It's a failed program. We're taking rides with other countries to the moon.
That's true. That's true.
We don't even have our own. We don't have our own rockets no more. They decommissioned the space shuttle.
That's true. That's true. We're still working on the X-1, mostly privatized now. But 50 years. Are we going to take the Steph Curry angle? Or are we going to say that we didn't go to the moon? We went to the moon.
I think we went to the moon.
You hear that, folks? You've heard it here first. No conspiracy theorists amongst us, amongst this crew here. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We've got another show coming. Maybe next week. Over the weekend. We're going to give you more material over the weekend. So, for Big Banks, I'm Stroobs. We're signing off. Peace.
Nothing but the ghetto, taking short steps 1 foot at a time and keep my head low and never let go, cause if I let go then I'll be spineless. I'm going insane. I think my mind just goes out of